Hey guys, welcome back to Your Florida Electrician. Glad that you're here. We are still working on our 800 square foot addition. What I'd like to talk about today is outside GFIs. This house originally was from 1915 and we're adding on a new section, doubling the house. And what sucks about the old house is it doesn't have enough outlets outside. There's 2 outlets that I believe I added. This one's going to have 5. I want to make sure I have power. If I need power, I want to run something outside, I'm going to have the power. So I'm going to show you how we did it. This here is called a Stucco Box. I like these because they're heavy duty. They're deep. Your outlet goes way inside. And it doesn't have to be in stucco, but it's nice if you're working in brick or block. This doesn't just fall in the wall. They put stucco over it and it's gone. I have some siding. It's going to be over this. So I got 5 of these. This is the first one. One of the things you want to decide with this GFI outlet is, do I want a 15 amp or do I want a 20 amp? Well, typically if you're running something outside, unless it's just a radio, it's going to be heavy duty. Usually a saw, table saw, maybe a grill, rotisserie thing or something. Christmas lights, that's handy too. I went with, I wanted a 20 amp circuit. So I pulled a dedicated 20 amp circuit to this, and let me show you what that looks like. As you can see, I got a lot of new circuits going to this home edition. All right, these are all going over to that new home edition. I think I have 11 or 12 right there right now. I got one more to pull for the air conditioner. But yeah, I decided to pull a 20 amp, which you need a 12 wire, so you can tell by the color. Having a 20 amp gives me 2,400 available watts. How you do the math on that is it'll say 20 on here, and it's 120 volts because it's only a single pole. So 20 times 120 ends up 240. If you have a 15 amp, it'd be 15 times 120. That only gives you 1,800 watts. So I like more power for some things, especially outside. Other circuits I pulled are definitely only 15 amp, and I can explain why. So many of those wires coming from that electrical panel are coming through here, and they were done nice and neatly right through here, nice and neat. And then we have that, what we call a home run. It's not something Babe Ruth knocks home. Is the first wire to the first outlet or switch box, and that goes to the back of my Stucco box. And I even wrote on here home run 12-2, so we know where it was. Yeah, I'm going to go outside and start wiring this thing. But that's the first one. Then it goes up, and you can follow it over here. Like I said, we got 5. There's another Stucco box over here. That's going to be for our porch. Another one for the back side of the house. Yeah, we're gonna make sure we definitely have enough outlets. We got one here in the corner, and one near the door over there, which is required by code these days. On an entry or an exit point, you got to have an outlet. Okay, guys, we're at the first outlet. One of these wires I pulled all the way to the electrical panel, and I marked on it. I always mark on it. I wrote GFCI HR home run. The home run goes back to the panel. Doesn't matter what box you put it in. This is the one that goes back to the panel. Okay, and then the other one is my jumper going to the next outside outlet. Okay. Some considerations when you're thinking about putting outlets outside is placement. This is a new construction part of the house, so it is going to require where the AC goes. We have to have an outlet nearby. I think it's pretty much within either 25 or 50 feet or within sight. Even though we don't use corded drills and stuff pretty much anymore, it's still required to have one. So I got them all over the place. I know we're having the AC, finally I know, we're having the AC on the other side of the house. And I put 2 over there. So no matter where they decide to put the AC, I'm going to be good. Anyway, when you're considering putting anything outside, outlets outside, okay, make sure you get outlets that are weather resistant. Okay, it says a little WR. Where is it? Can you see it on the box? It says tamper resistant and weather resistant. What's the difference between tamper resistant and weather resistant? Weather resistant outlets are designed to be safeguarded from ice, snow, rain, humidity, when it's in an approved outdoor box that gives it some sort of reasonable protection. Okay, it has nylon and it has other materials, metal materials, screws, stainless steel screws and such that help it last in such rough environments. So you want to make sure you spend the extra $1 or $2 to get the weather resistant materials. Otherwise, you're always going to be changing these outlets. They're going to get rusted in there and you're going to ruin your box because you can't get it out. These ones I also got, I don't normally get them. This one's also rated for 20 amps, it's 20 amp circuit. You don't have to have a 20 amp designed outlet to put on a 20 amp circuit. The code book says you can use a 15, but if ever I do use a lot of power out here, I want to make sure this outlet is going to handle it. It's not going to melt at 2,000 watts when I'm pulling 2300, okay? So that is one thing, one consideration there. I got these at Home Depot. I mean, I can put a link to these things at Amazon or something like that. But yeah, this house is going to be here for a while. I want to make sure the electrical is going to work for a long time. Hey guys, something to keep in mind. A GFCI does not protect you against circuit overload. The directions specifically say do not use this particular outlet with aluminum wiring, okay? If you wanted to, if you needed to, you would have to get the special wire nuts for putting copper onto aluminum, put a pigtail, and then put copper wiring into this. Yeah, do not install this on life support equipment, okay? If it trips, somebody's going to die, so that's no good. This is for damp or wet locations, but it must be in the listed marked weather resistant, okay, which it is. There's some other things that you need to know about these GFIs is there is a line and a load clearly marked on the back of these things. Oof, that's going to be hard to see. Maybe I better take a picture of it. The line is up here. What's that mean? That's my home run. That's going to the panel. That's my line side. Everything that's protected is going to be on these two terminals, okay? My neutral on one side, hot on one side, neutral on the other side. Okay, we take this tape off and we'll put all the load side stuff. So my line side is my home run. Load side is the rest of the outlets that are going to be run in parallel. Okay. Hey guys, this is a lot of fun. Getting the camera set up and getting the time of day where the sun, where there's actually shade over here. Yeah, a lot of challenges, man. If you get any value out of these videos, please like and subscribe. They're a little bit extra work, but I love doing it. I love doing it if it helps you guys. Remember, this one was the really long one. That is the GFCI. This one's going back to the panel, my home run. So the one on the left is my home run. I'll go ahead and cut these with my diagonals. All right, I want to leave a little bit of wiring because I got to connect my device. All right, cut them about the same. Okay. All right, a little bit tricky, but getting the insulation off. This is my line side to my GFI. You can go back here with a set of diagonals. We call them dikes in the trade. Put it way back here. Give it a little pinch on the wire, on the insulation. You're not trying to cut the wire. You're just trying to score the insulation. Okay, and then usually it'll pull off. Oops, sorry, hitting the camera with my gut. Okay, score the insulation. And there we go. Okay, and it slides off. You don't want to nick the wire itself. You just want to get that insulation off of there. Same thing here. Just want to score that insulation. And you want to pull that off. Whatever you do, don't cut the wire. You cut the wire, you're pulling another home run. Okay, it's coming off of there. See it? It's starting to come off. There we go. This one got wet. Okay. We definitely need those grounds. Okay, we want to twist these grounds together. If you watched enough of my videos, you probably know a lot of this already. All right, I want to keep that longer ground. So I'm going to cut this back here. Boom. And it's helpful if you have a green wire nut. Green wire nuts have a hole in them, specifically for this purpose. Take the end of that wire, slide it through, and twist that on to mechanically bond these wires together. And I should probably needle nose, but it's okay. We want to put the wire in the back here, because we do have to get that device inside. Okay, get that out of the way. All right, you remember, line side, load side. Okay. I want to get these roughly the same length. Okay, that one's kind of long. Yep. If you're working with somebody else, usually an electrician, we'll take this line side. If somebody's coming up behind them and they're not doing the actual trim, they'll take this line side. Because it's GFI, they want to identify this as being the side that's the line side. Okay, they will typically twist the wires like that. So if you ever look into a box in a new construction and you see something like this, the electrician is signifying that this is the line side of the GFI. Okay, we take our weather resistant GFI 20 amp. Okay, I want to take this tape off. All right, can you see it yet? Line and load. Okay, you can. All right, clearly, line, load. The ground, we want to put the ground on here. It'll loosen that up a little bit. And I didn't bring a screwdriver. Okay, screwdriver in hand. This is already loose. The way these are designed, this one, is you can just slide your ground wire, loosen this up, slide your ground wire right under here. Let's do that. I always start with the ground. It's one of the most important ones. Okay. Now Phillip doesn't work very well as far as getting it tight. At the flat, it seems to work better. It's amazing how much more tight, how much tighter you can get that. Wow. All right, so that's in there all the way to the bottom. I see it. The wire's all the way to the bottom. We need to strip a little bit off your line and load. There's usually a strip gauge on the back of these things. Oh my gosh, I don't know if the phone will pick it up. There's a line right here. That's your strip gauge. So, looks to be like 3/4 of an inch long. If you're unsure, you can do that, and then you can hold this up to the strip gauge. I actually made it a little bit too long. So, a little bit too long, I can cut that off. You don't want too much wire sticking out, because then it's exposed to maybe touching this when you push it back into the box. So this one too. Okay, this one's my line side. Make sure you get it right. If you don't get it right, it's not going to work right. So my line side's here. I got that. Hot wire, neutral wire. The neutral is almost always on the same side as the device neutral. So this one also has a little space in here. See, when you do that strip gauge perfectly, look at it, you don't see any copper sticking out. It goes all the way in, sits flush. It's perfect. It's perfect. That's why they put the strip gauge on there. All right, we want to tighten these up. I know a lot of guys out there are going to say, oh, you need a torque wrench. You can torque these. You can definitely torque them. I put them nice and tight. There is probably a torque value of like 20 pounds. It may say it on here somewhere. Let me see. Do not install a non-weather resistant device in a wet or damp location. See? But there's probably a torque value somewhere. I don't see it on here, but maybe on the terminal. It's probably about 20 pounds. Okay, the hot side. If I did it right, no, see, it's sticking out. It's a little bit too long. You see the insulation? Can you see it the copper showing. Just a little bit too long. You want it to fit perfectly under here. Otherwise, you run the risk of it touching something and shorting out. Okay, good. That's good. Tighten it up. Okay, that's my line side. That's the side going directly to the electrical panel. Now this next one is going to my next outlet that we're protecting. It's not going to have a GFI. It's just going to have a regular outlet, but it's going to be protected by this GFI. Wow, it seems too short. Nope. Good. You can see the neutral side connections are silver. Okay. And if you look on the hot side, they're black. Different. Makes it more easily identifiable. Ooh, I'm trying to beat the sun. The sun's coming up over the porch here. The timing is working out perfect. You have to find the right time of day to come out and do this, otherwise you're going to be blinded. It's going to be hot. All right, so these are my two load sides going to the next receptacle. Wow. Wow, that's amazing. Tighten it down again. And you got to get all this wire inside the box, which being 12 wire can be a bit of a challenge. Well, I'm not going to lie, friends. That sucked. As you see, I took the cover off. You can pop it off if you're careful. But that sucked getting it in there with the 12 wire. You really got to push the wiring coming in into the back and out of the way, because it doesn't, with the GFI, doesn't leave you a whole lot of room. So let's see, screws. Let me see if I get this in there nice and straight. All right, cool. Need the little screws. I have a screwdriver called a wiggy. Kind of turns on its axis. It's good for reaching way back there. It's not magnetic though. Get into the bag of the screws. Look at that, I can't even get back there. What a joke. Okay. So the nice thing is it gives you room to plug in something and you can still close the cover. That's why they have these in-use weatherproof covers designed for that. They stick way out, but this one's already out quite a bit, and I dropped the other screw somewhere. Alright, so yay, I dropped one of the screws and it disappeared into nowhere land. So fortunately I have a plate that was broken already. And I have the screws. Instead of throwing it away, I just keep the screws. So there's the GFI. You don't need to put one of these stickers on there. Normally it comes with some stickers and it says GFI protected. It's obviously a GFI. I mean, you can put it on there. This is the rough end part. I want to come back on another video and actually we're trimming it too. But I want to show it working. I can't show it working until I change that panel out. Now this you got to put back on carefully. Hopefully without breaking it, because these boxes are expensive. Plug something in. There's a hole here. The wire will stick out. And you can you know, maybe low voltage landscape lighting or something like that. But I want to go on to the next one and go ahead and install. I think I bought all weatherproof receptacles all the way around, so I want to do at least one more. Hey my friends, we're on to the last of these outlets. I'm doing this one next, basically because everything else is in the sun. I don't want to roast. Anyway, these don't have to be a GFI. These will be protected by a GFI. Here's another 20 amp outlet. Okay, weatherproof. I want these to last. I don't want to be changing them every 2 years. We have a lot of hurricanes here. Things get wet. So they have stainless steel screws. They have like nickel or something. I'm not sure what this material is. This strap. It's not your normal strap. It's not going to rust like crazy. And the internal connections are also different too. It makes them more durable for this type of location. So I want to go ahead and install this one, this last one in line. Not going to lie, that last one was a pain in the butt. I had to really push all the wires in the back out of the way of the GFI to get it to set in there. It wasn't fun. Okay, here we are. There's only one wire because this is the end. There's no jumper wire. Fortunately, you know, these videos take time to set up the camera, wait for the day to be a certain way. My guy that did the construction for this, Mark Davis Construction, if you are in Florida, Central Florida here, and you want somebody that's awesome, good integrity, actually returns your calls, text messages, etc., I'm going to put a link to him. He has been awesome. He's given me all kinds of time to be able to do the stuff I need to do, make these videos or whatever, because it does take time. I can't say enough about him and his son. They've been really, really good to me on this project, so hats off to them guys. Yeah, I'll put a link to their website or their homepage or whatever, Google. Okay, so again, we just need to strip this off carefully. You don't want to actually nick the wire or break the wire, because if you do, you are running a new wire because there's not a lot of slack on the inside. You'll see the way it's stapled. I'll show you the stapling for this type of rough end. So this time I'm not going to make that mistake. I am going to push this wire way to the back. I don't want to go through that again. That was really shitty. Well, you can use the back. You can use the back of this like a stab in, but it's not a stab in. It's different. The screw actually tightens it down. I've always liked to wrap the wire around the terminal. It's a better connection. It's touching a lot more copper than just on the sides. I'd like to continue with that. This one seems kind of bent. It seems like the yoke on this thing's kind of bent, and it's also tamper resistant. You see that? You can't see inside the outlet. So if a kid was to come stick a screwdriver in one side, it won't open. You would actually have to stick a screwdriver in both sides at the same time to open this outlet to get to the inside. So it's much safer for if you got little kids, curious kids. All right, enough of that. Strip some of this off. All right, I want enough to put a little loop on there. Okay, because I do plan on putting that around the terminations on my outlet. This one I make a little longer. All right. Always do the ground first. It's one of the most important things. Back in the day, they didn't care. You used to get fried, and then they found out they needed a ground. So now it's very important. It's the most important. Okay. You see that? Okay, I wrapped it around. Okay, clockwise, because I want to be able to tighten this. When I tighten it, I want it to actually get tighter, not looser. So the screw turns clockwise. I want the wire wrapped around every termination clockwise, so it tends to tighten, not tends to loosen. Okay. Yes, there is a torque value somewhere. Not sure, 8 pounds, 10 pounds, 20 pounds. Put it nice and tight, not lazy, sloppy, and you're usually pretty good. Okay, the ground typically goes on the same side. Okay. I'm not using that, what looks to be like a back stab. I am putting the wire around the screw. And I want to pinch this closed. Okay. Can you see that? Let's see. That wire, even if I didn't tighten it, is nice and tight already. But of course I want to tighten it. Oh, it's blurry. I don't know if I can focus that close. Okay. Okay, nice and tight there. This one's loose. Alright, then the hot side, my black wire. Okay, I don't know if I stripped enough. I don't know if I stripped enough wire back to be able to put this tightly. Let me see. I think I did just enough. If not, I can strip more, which I think I might be doing. Yeah, let me just strip a little bit more. So it's a little bit too short, that little hoop, a little bit too short. Can't really work with that. So I want to straighten it back out. Take my Kleins, Leatherman, whatever you want to call it. Okay, straighten it back out. Strip off a little bit more insulation. I want a bigger hoop. Okay. And then make your loop again. But I want a bigger one. This way I can close it on my outlet termination here. Alright, can you see the difference on that? See, now it's sticking out where I can actually get it with my needle nose and pinch it closed. See that? And tighten it. Alright, okay, that's good and tight. Now, the trick is getting these wires back inside. This is where I had trouble on the last one. What kept happening was the wires kept getting in front of this, where you're going to screw the outlet in, and in front of this one. So I couldn't push the outlet back anymore. We've got to make sure these wires are beyond that in the back of the outlet. Otherwise, we're going to have more difficulty. And the needle nose is handy, because I can kind of push these wires back there carefully, so they're not all bunching up on the side of the outlet. Oh boy, this is going to be way better and easier than the GFI was. The GFI was a beast. Okay. Again, these are 20 amp outlets. You don't have to use 20 amp outlets, but I'm a serious power guy. If I want to use power, I want it to work. I don't want the outlet to melt. And it's going in crooked. So what's that mean? Push it with your hand, straighten it out, and then tighten it up. So much appreciate you guys being here. I like doing this stuff. If it's going to help you, it's very rewarding. Especially you guys new to the trade or homeowners that want to try doing some of this stuff and saving a boatload of money. Wow. Look at that. So this one I do need, and the inspector may look for it, I do need a sticker. So with the GFI came a bunch of stickers here. It says GFI protected outlet. Some say no equipment ground. This definitely has a ground, but this is a GFI protected outlet. So I want to put one inside here. I'm going to put one of these stickers. I'm going to put one. Yeah, I'll put it right on the outlet itself there. Okay. Okay, so one right on the outlet, and then when I get this cover on, I'm going to put one on the outside, because the inspector is going to be looking for that, believe it or not. He's going to be looking for that stupid sticker, because he wants to make sure it's GFI protected, because it's outside, and this type of stuff saves lives, man. The GFIs really do. They save lives. There you go. Comes with the stickers. There's no excuse. I got enough stickers to do the other 1, 2, 3 outlets that I'm going to do, and off we go. Hey guys, if you made it this far to the video, thank you so much for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing, sharing. It really helps this channel out, trying to grow this channel. If you have any suggestions on how I can do things better, I bought a mic. Somebody said, yeah, you need a mic. I got the mic, no problem. Any ideas of what videos I can do? I've done, obviously, a lot of EV charger videos. Those seem to be the most popular at the moment. I like doing this. I have some more coming. 3 ways, 4 ways, ceiling fans. I got a lot of wiring to do in this house. That's going to be my day-to-day. Finish this up and maybe make a couple more videos. Thank you so much for joining me here. Thank you so much for watching. You really, really appreciate it. Thank you. It's really a lot of fun to get you guys' feedback. Feel free to comment. I like to reply. I try to be timely with my replies. I can't always, but I try to reply to whatever you guys have for questions and suggestions. It's greatly appreciated. Thanks for watching.